Got Bruce Warner with us. We got Roy Firestone with us, 7-time Emmy Award winner and 7-time Ace Award winner. And also, I loved your scene in Jerry Maguire as well. It's one of my favorite sports movies, Roy. So as soon as he's not going to cry. I'm not going to cry, Roy. I love that.
Alex and Bruce, if you give me 90 seconds, I got to tell you the funniest thing, but maybe a little more than 90 seconds. When I first got the script, I didn't read the script because I didn't think I was going to make the movie. What happens in a lot of movies is has me, what do you think, champ? You know, it's with a microphone. How do you feel about that game? And they take it out, they edit it out. So I assumed that it was never going to make it. So anyway, I go to the Sony picture lot without having read the script. And let's say it was Studio 16. There's like 4 Studio 16, 16A, 16B, 16C. So I'm banging on these huge metal doors. First one, like it was Goldilocks. I'm banging the first door, no response. Second door, no response. Third door, bang, 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 creaking open. This big steel door. Tom Cruise answers the door.
Oh my gosh!
I said, I thought I was dreaming. He goes, "Hey, Roy, how you doing? Come on in." I went, "Wow!" I said, "Since when do you?" He goes, "I do everything around here, you know." So he was Jerry Maguire, of course, and he goes to me, "Have you been with Cuba?" Now I thought he said, "Have you been to Cuba?"
Right.
Yeah.
He was talking about Cuba Gooding Jr.
Sure.
And I said, "Well, I'm from Miami." He goes, "What?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Cuba." He goes, "No, Cuba Gooding Jr. Have you been with him?" And I went, "I have no idea what you're talking." He was
you
not.
Know who he was? He wasn't famous before the movie, right?
Yeah. We go do the scene. First take, you know, we ad-libbed most of it. In fact, if you look at the movie now, watch that scene, you can see he's starting to crack up because I said your brother lost a leg in a tragic bass fishing accident. I was just trying to come up with stuff, right? That was an ad-lib, by the way. You can see he's slowly trying to crack up. But when he gets the money, when Rod Tidwell gets the money, he races across the desk, and I wasn't ready for it, and he grabbed me in the first take, and I started to roll back, and on a rolling chair, and almost fell backwards on my head. 2 grips caught me. The second take is the one you see, but he could summon real tears. Twice he did it, which was scary to me. That's what an actor does. Okay. Yeah. So we do the scene. I forget about the movie entirely. 6 months later, 8 months later, my next door neighbor goes, "Oh my God, you with Jerry Maguire?" I said, "I don't know anybody named Jerry Maguire." He goes, "No, the movie with Tom." I went, "Oh, did I make the movie?" Because make the movie, you got a big scene. This is, they'll never take out of the movie because it's crucial, right? Yeah, and Cameron Crowe, the director, promised me that. He says, "Just ad-lib it. I promise I'm not taking it out." I said, "Okay." 6 months after that, I'm in Liverpool, England. And I am actually, I'm a Beatles fanatic. I'm a collector. I'm an expert in a lot of the Beatles history. I'm in Liverpool, England, at a reception. And Paul McCartney was supposed to be there, but he wasn't. And the guy who I was with was talking to me. We saw a show that he performed in at the Cavern Club where the Beatles started. Well, it's like 2:30 in the morning. We're all jet lagged out. We're ready to leave. He goes, I said, "Let's just go. Let's get something to eat and let's go home." Right? He goes, "Oh my God." I went, "What?" He goes, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" He goes, "He's right behind you." So I turn around, swear to God, guys, Paul McCartney. And he's looking around. No one's talking to him. He's got his hands in his pockets, just like he was a guest at his own party. And he sees me and he goes, "Hey, I know you." I said, "No, you don't, Paul, but thank you very much. I'm huge." He goes, "No, I know you." I said, "No, you don't." He goes, "I've seen you somewhere." I said, "I don't think so." And the woman who was his assistant goes, "He means the movie." I went, "The movie? You mean Jerry Maguire?" He goes, "That's it. You're the guy who makes him cry." And I went,
wow.
"Well, yeah, I guess." He goes, "What's your name?" I said, "My name is Roy." He goes, "Don't make me cry, Roy." And that was golden for me. Paul McCartney, who I idolized as a kid, pretty much as an adult too, he recognized me from the damn movie.
That's insane.
It just shows you the value if you're in a big movie. And Cuba Gooding Jr. won the Academy Award.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I could always have on my resume, I'm not a great actor or anything, but that I was in a scene with the Academy Award-winning Cuba Gooding Jr. actor, and I thought it was the coolest thing that ever happened to me in terms of my professional life.
So something I'm curious about.
The Paul McCartney imitations. That's pretty damn good.
Really good.
I do a bit in the show. I do a live show, and I have Paul McCartney. I replace Paul McCartney in the show. I do a thing where I have a green screen effect where I'm singing with the Beatles on stage on the Ed Sullivan Show. You have to see it to believe it.
I think I saw it.
But it's absolutely the most fun thing. And I did all the CGI with my editors, and I'm singing on the Sullivan Show, and Sullivan's congratulating me on the Sullivan Show, and it's a Twilight Zone episode. And if you come to see the live show, you'll see it in the show.
Well, and now that he's bringing that up, because Roy mentioned he does a one-man show, and he's written books as well. I want to promote, but I pulled a clip here from Roy's YouTube page. That's a quick clip I want to show people because it includes a little bit of the scene with Cuba Gooding Jr. It also includes a couple excerpts from the live show. So guys, watch. This is how you heard his Paul McCartney. This is how talented Roy Firestone is.
Thank you very much.
I'm not going to cry, Roy.
You may not know me for my live one-man show. We'll have stories, music, celebrity impressions, and more.
Blown away. Best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Phenomenal.
That was amazing.
It was the real deal.
That's right. Everybody from Frank Sinatra.
I gotta say, Frank Sinatra singing YMCA was my favorite of the evenings.
To Smokey Robinson.
I had no idea that he was this talented. He's extraordinary.
Tony Bennett.
The golden sun will shine for thee.
Oh, he was awesome. I thought he was the funniest guy I've seen in a long time.
Hysterical to the point of bringing you to mad laughter. He does the best imitations I've ever seen.
Tell me, how long have you been doing this one-man show? Where can people see it?
What's amazing is, and Bruce knows this, because he has members in his family who have done one-man shows too, or shows, corporate shows, and theatrical shows. I've been doing it, believe it or not, Alex, 30 years.
Whoa!
And I've done literally, I counted the other day, about almost 2,100 shows, 2,100 shows. Wow. And I've been on Letterman, I've been on I don't mean to make it sound like my resume here, but I love doing it. And if you are watching this and you are interested in me coming in and perform for your corporate groups or whatever, especially if you're in Florida, because I have family in Florida, it's easier for me to get out there. But let me know. I'm at royfirestone.com. I didn't want to make this a commercial, but I love doing it. And
I'm happy to show people that, because when I watched that, I was floored by how cool that clip was.
Thank you. I've been doing it a long time. It's a lot of sports, but it's not only sports. So if there's females in the audience, or I do a lot of community shows, community arts center shows, corporate, a lot in Las Vegas. I got to open for Lou Rawls. I got to open for Michael McDonald. I've done a lot of shows over the years. Some people know I do it. Some people don't. I did it even while I was at ESPN for many, many years. I hosted in the Hall of Fame shows. I did a lot of corporate events, a lot of fundraising. I'm a host for fundraisers too. But I love doing it. And I tell you the truth, once you get it in your blood, I can understand why people don't want to let go. I've been doing this for 30 years and never had more fun. And I love being a sports broadcaster and interviewer, of course. And I was very blessed to have had that opportunity. But there ain't nothing like a live stage for me.
Oh, yeah. And the other thing is that I didn't see the show in person, but I saw these clips, and you could just see he's having a great time.
Definitely.
He's dead serious about his singing, and you could see the humor in the show.
Yes.
And so that's what makes it great, because it's just not somebody who's going up there to sing and impress everybody. It's a show that incorporates laughter and stories and everything, and that's what makes it so wonderful.
Thank you, Bruce. But I'll say this. The Beatle piece was not in there, and it's not even in my promo, but it is on YouTube. And if you go to All My Loving, Roy Firestone, you'll see what that piece looks like. And we worked really hard on that piece, and it's a real crowd pleaser because I become a member of the Beatles on the screen. And it's really a lot of fun to do. And, the thing is, I really feel like I can move people, make them laugh, maybe move them to tears, because of my stories. There's just some stories about Muhammad Ali. Maybe at the end of this program, we can tell that story. I had almost a 50-year relationship with Ali.
Wow.
And I did fundraisers with him when he was alive for Parkinson's research. And we did many, many events. There's also another piece on YouTube called The Ali Story with Roy Firestone, and you'll see it, where Ali actually comes on stage with me at the end of the story. It's very moving. So I've had an amazing life, to say the very least. And I'm very, very grateful.
You have a schedule in that you could say, I'll be here in September?
I don't have it yet because it's so early in the year. I was doing a lot of shows in Broward County for those who were in Florida, up in Valencia, near Boynton Beach. I did 3 shows there. And, as I said, I will listen to any situation if I feel like it would be worth my while, even if it's in Florida, because they do have family there. And if people are interested in bringing me in to I can do up to 90 minutes. Mostly on my show is 55 minutes because people, corporate especially, like to keep it tight. But I've done 90-minute shows, and I said, one of the cool things that ever happened is a real short story, and then we're going to get back to football in a second.
Sure.
I had the talk show, of course, up close, and Jerry Lewis, came on one time to talk about sports. He really loved sports. And we're in the green room, and he goes, I hear you perform. I said, Jerry Lewis was, when I was a kid, he was otherworldly. He was my God.
He was from Irvington.
He was the greatest. Anyway, he goes, let me tell you something. If you ever perform in Las Vegas, if I'm not here, well, I'll be there. He says, but if I'm not in the country, I'll send you a telegram. In the old days, telegram was the thing. You can't get a telegram anymore for much of anything. But so it's open. And then another night, I had Gail Sayers on. And he goes, I hear you might be performing. He says, I'll be there opening night. Ha ha, thank you, right? Do you know that when I opened for Lou Rawls at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, Gail Sayers showed up. He flew in from Chicago to be in the front row. Gail Sayers. Jerry Lewis sent me a telegram, which I still have to this day, saying, I'm so happy for you. Good luck. You're going to kill him. Well, I mean, what kind of dream is that? It's an amazing thing in my life. And it's 2 separate entities. My broadcasting career is one thing. My entertaining career is another. I separate them if I can, but I merge the 2 also in the storytelling I take. Everybody from Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. There's an amazingly funny story about me interviewing Richard Nixon. It goes on. And I'm proud of the fact that it's very entertaining, but also inspiring at the end.
That's amazing, and we're really proud of you, especially us down here in Miami.
Thank you.
Debbie
we're all Canes here, so we got to take care of each other.
You know who you knew very well, who I knew as a child, was Wilt Chamberlain. I went to Coachers several times. He was my counselor, and he also played for the Warriors. He played for
Wilt
the
was your
Warriors.
counselor?
Alvin Adams, who's from Newark. We used to go to the Garden when they were playing. We'd go in the locker room because we were so close to Alvin, and Wilt and I were very close. When I went to Kutcher's, he remembered me. He has so many stories about Milton Kutcher and all that. And everybody says he couldn't shoot. He beat everybody in the camp when they played. When you shoot around, what is that called?
Horse? You mean horse?
He killed everybody, even
Bruce, I got to tell you a funny story about Wilt, real quick. Since 1978 or 9, really long time ago, and Wilt never did the show. But I wound up coming out of a restaurant in Santa Monica here in California, and they're in a white Rolls Royce with the top down, a convertible. This car must have been in its day $300,000, $400,000. 2 gigantic dogs in the back seat, beautiful blonde in the front seat.
Blonde, yes.
He's behind the steering wheel. He's wearing a silver and purple silk jumpsuit with a burgundy beret. He's got these African shells, puka shells. He's got an African walking stick. He's got neon neckerchiefs, He's got all the jewels and he's got this silk and leather outfit, and he's 7'2" and he's 320 or 30 pounds. I said, Wilt, I got to have you on the show. Could you do my show? He goes, Roy, I would, and he stuttered. Roy, I would like to do your show, but you have to understand, I'm trying to keep a low profile here. He was dressed like Prince. Prince would have been embarrassed by how much he was wearing.
I'll bet you he was wearing the rubber bands. He always wore rubber bands.
He always did. Right. I have a million stories about Wilt. I loved Wilt. You know why I love Wilt, Bruce and Alex? Because he was comfortable being Wilt. Yes. I don't think Kareem. Maybe Shaq is comfortable being Shaq, but for the most part, the big guys are all ill at ease. They're all very uncomfortable being gigantic. Wilt loved every minute of it. He couldn't wait to tell you stories about what he could do with, not just with women. But by the way, he was the NBA's all-time leading scorer, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But Wilt loved being Wilt, and it showed. He reminded me a little of Barkley in the early years because he would say anything, didn't care what anybody thought. And now people are so cautious, understandably so perhaps. It's a different time. But Wilt was the original. He was truly – I just did a 3-part series that I was in for Showtime called Goliath. And it just aired. It's still on right now. People want to see
that.
Wilt was one of one. There was nobody like him. Even Shaq didn't come close to Wilt. No way.
But you know what? A lot of people say, and I'm friends with Rick Barry, and Rick would tell me, Wilt, he wasn't violent enough. He was really nice. He could have dominated even worse than he did.
I don't know who it was. It may have been Bob Lanier or somebody, and he picked. Lanier was like 6'9" or something, 6'10", and I think it was Lanier, but it could have been some other player, but of that size. And he picked him up off the floor and carried him out of bounds, like you don't mess with. He was so strong.
Yep.
He was the strongest athlete I think I've ever been around. He was unbelievably strong and a skilled player. He averaged, as you know, 50, 60, 55, I think, a game.
50.4.
And one year he averaged 30 or 40 rebounds per game. You can't even compare that to anybody now.
No.
And because, they played with much smaller guys, he dominated big guys too. Nate Thurman, Bob Lanier. Yeah, all of them.
Walt Bellamy. Yeah,
Walt Bellamy. All these guys that were Hall of Famers, and he dominated. Everyone talks to the year 1962, I think, was when he scored the 100 points.
62.
Could be. 62. But you know what? He also holds today, right now, 69 NBA records.
Yes.
69. That's insane. I think Kobe and Jordan had, I think they had 6 or 7 60 or more point games. Wilt had like 33.
Yeah.
It was insane. He was. No one ever says he was the best player of all time. I'm going to tell you, he's definitely in the running of the greatest player ever.
Absolutely. And the one year he scored 100, he averaged 48.1 minutes per game, which is more minutes than there are in a game.
Yeah. How is that even possible?
He never Bruce. He never fouled out. That's insane.
Who was the best interview? Like, what was the athlete? And there's probably more than one, but the one where you knew when those lights went on, that camera went on, it was just going to be magic.
There's an expression in sports. It's an older expression. People don't hear it anymore. He came to play, man. He came to play. Larry Bird was a guy. He came to play. Well, Larry Bird came more than came to play. He came to win. Right. That's a big difference. But when I was doing interviews, there were certain people who really came to be interviewed. Barkley, obviously, that's the obvious one. But people like Magic, of course, Jim Valvano, unbelievable interview. He would be funny, touching, inspiring, any number of things. He just took over the microphone. You just get out of the way, let me be your guest. But I would have Howie Long was you see Howie Long somewhat serious on the Fox show. He was hysterical telling stories. I had Walton. I started Bill Walton on TV to this day, and I get a little bit shy about it because I don't really think that's the case. But he says I made his career in broadcasting. By the way, some people curse me. Some people curse me for that. But Bill Walton was one of the funniest, most introspective, thoughtful guys. Who else did I like? I liked people who had things to say in an interesting way to say it. For example, Joe Montana was never a particularly good interview. Jordan wasn't a particularly great interview.
Nope.
Of course, he grew into that kind of an arrogant thing that he played. I will tell you the quick story about Kobe Bryant. When I got him first, he was 18 and a half. He wasn't quite 19. He came to Los Angeles, one of the very first interviews I ever did. I don't have any pictures to show you here, but use your imagination. It was a day at Loyola Marymount College, and it was a rainy day, and he came up. He was 19. He was wearing his little suit and tie, and lightning hit the building and blew out all our lights. And he's getting ready to sit down, and I said, Kobe, unfortunately, our lights just we had electric blackout just now. It's going to take us 2 hours to get it back. I said, can you come back? He says, no, I'm not coming back. I went, oh, man, we just blew this. We lost this interview. He goes, no, I'm staying. I said, staying? Why are you staying? He goes, I want to learn everything I can learn about what you guys do.
Wow.
He watched us set the lights up. He watched us set the camera up. He tried to look through the lens. He tried to watch. Was such an interested guy. And then he sits down, does this interview. The first part, he does it in Italian. And then he translated it. And he translated it. And he goes, I'm going to make it glad that you made that you waited, because I'm going to be the best guest. He wanted to be the best guest. He wanted to be the most interesting. He was 19, guys. He wasn't 33.
He was OCD about perfection. And
he had to be perfect. And another time when I was at the Pyramid where the Grizzlies play in Memphis, I was at the hotel. We had an interview set up at 8 on a Friday night, rainy night, I'll never forget. And I'm waiting 8, 9, he's not there. 9:30, I'm getting pissed now because we said 8 o'clock, he's not there. At 10 after 10, 2.5 hour wait, he walks in sweats, dripping in sweat.
Working out.
I said, where have you been? I said, you were looking for girls? He goes, no, I just took 5,000 jumpers. I went, what? On a Friday night he got into the Pyramid Arena and took 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 jumpers. I went, you're insane. He goes, what am I going to do? Try to hook up with some girl on a Friday night when I could be taking my shots? That's how hard he worked. When he had a bad game when his rookie year against Utah, where he had a couple of air balls in crunch time. They got off the plane. They were eliminated. He got off the plane at like 10 to 12 midnight. He got off the plane and he had his car taken to Pacific Palisades High School in Los Angeles. They opened up the gym, and for the next 3 hours till 3 a.m, he was shooting jumpers. He was so angry with himself for missing those. That's the kind of player he was.
Yeah, I remember there was something similar happened later in his career. The Lakers, they lost a game in Miami to the Heat, and I remember that he told them, I'm not leaving the arena. Take me to the practice court, and he was there till like 2 or 3 a.m. shooting jumpers.
Never saw work ethic like that. And I've seen Larry Bird, and Jordan worked hard, but didn't work like that. I've never seen anybody work that hard forever for anything just about in life.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this has been unbelievable. And first of all, I don't know why you associate yourself with a guy like Bruce. I mean, I'm glad you guys are friends.
It's really not me. He likes my wife.
He's a cane. He's a truth teller. He's a cane. So that's what it's all about.
Hey, by the way, Roy, Debbie just said hello.
Oh, great. She's a great. Bruce's wife was a great singer. Does a show called Top of the World. She's a Karen Carpenter sound-alike. And they do shows all over the country. And not only that, she's also a great dog person. And she takes her dog to, with a horrible tragedy at up at Stone and Douglas, she brought that dog up to comfort kids. And when we had the tragedy at Surfside with the condominium collapsing, she brought that dog. She's a really great person. So thank you for that. But I'll tell you the truth.
She likes you.
Thank you. Well, I like her. I would say this, that I've had and everybody thinks, they've. I don't think that there's anybody whose life I would rather have than the life I've had. I've got to do all the sports that I loved. I started in Miami doing TV.
Right.
In fact, I was talking about Chuck Dowdle the other day. I don't know if that name rings a bell to a lot of people.
There's a picture on Facebook. I see
Right.
it.
He just turned 75 yesterday. I had so much fun doing that. I covered the Dolphins and Shula and the 72 team when I was 18 years old. And then I came out to Los Angeles in 1977, if you can believe it. And I've been here ever since. But then I also had a second career as a performer, which had been on Letterman and Leno and all those other Nightline, all those shows. So in terms of diversity of fun and adventures, nobody comes close. As far as, I'm not saying it to be arrogant. I'm saying to be grateful. I'm saying to be grateful. And I've had the most fun, and I enjoyed this doing this today too.
Yeah,
And
I
I
can
appreciate
understand that. Being an attorney, and then I've been doing these shows with Alex and on the radio for the last 30 years. Yeah, I can see that. It's a diversion for me, but I love it. I love doing these shows.
Can I close with one last story?
Please.
I plugged it earlier in this interview, and I want to tell it, and it's going to take a few minutes to set this up. Muhammad Ali, I knew since I was just a kid. It was one of the very first. It was my first TV interview in Miami, WPLG Channel 10. And it was day one. That was my first interview. But I also filmed him as a kid for WTVJ. He knew me a teeny bit, but he would see over the years, before Parkinson's really hit him hard, that I was the kid from Miami. He knew. He wasn't sure about the name after a while, but then he used to say, "Your name is Roy, or you call me boy." You know how he used to. Right, so we this first week I'm with my camera crew, and we're doing a day in the life of the champ was the name of the piece. And Ali's shaking a lot of hands and high-fiving people, and people hugging him, and he's signing autographs. Then at night he decides to go to a nursing home, South Beach. So I'll never forget this. It gives me chills telling you this story. So he goes to this nursing home. He had just beaten Joe Frazier, Thriller in Manila. And he walks in the room. There's like, I guess, 30 or 40 or 50 elderly, I mean really elderly, 97, 98, 100, 101 people in wheelchairs. I'm the greatest. I'm the fastest. I'm the scared. Nobody with me. I'm the vault. What's my name? Right? They had no idea who the hell this guy was. Finally, some lady goes, "Aren't you Clay?" I went,
no.
So we go into the other room, and there, Ali, "I'm so fast. I'm great. Can't nobody with me." And he sees there's only one guy in the room. And he walks in. "You know who I am?" This guy was a black guy in a wheelchair. He was about 98 years old. Cataracts, didn't eat, didn't talk. Ali, "Come on, what's my name?" No response. Finally, Ali walks out of the room. As he's walking out of the room, and I'm with my camera crew, I could see this old man take his wheelchair and start to turn it. And he points first, and then he goes, "Hey." And Ali goes, Hey, what?" "I know who you are." "You know who I am? Who am I?" And the old man looks up. He goes, "You the greatest. You're the greatest. I waited my whole life to meet the champion. I'm 98 years old. Everybody in my family is dead. And finally my dream come true. I always wanted to meet the champion. Now my dream is finally come true. I raised my family. Everyone is dead. But I got to meet my dream. My dream came true. Wow. You are the greatest of all time." So everyone's getting crying, right? Ali's like tears. So wait a minute. Here's the story. So Ali goes back and he goes, "You're right. I am the greatest. And tell everybody, what is my name?" And the old man looked up and he went, "Joe Louis."
Oh no!
So, here's where the end of the story. This is a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing happened. So the entourage started correcting him. "Hey, oh man, that ain't no Joe Louis, don't you?" And Ali stopped them. He stopped them. And he put him into a corner, and I could overhear him say this. "Don't you ever correct an old man. What's wrong with you? Don't you tell him nothing. How dare you? This man just said his dream came true, and the only reason his dream came true is he got to meet the champ, and the only champ that mattered to him was to meet Joe Louis. Well, guess what? Tonight, my name is Joe Louis." And I thought, what a beautiful thing. And I thought about the words of George Washington Carver, who was a philanthropist and botanist and an inventor from 50 years before. He said, how far you go in life depends upon your ability to be tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, tolerant of the weak and the strong and those who strive. Because someday in your life, you'll have been at the same place as they were. And it's true. And Ali showed me something. That little moment showed me his ability to uplift people. And more than ever before in our lives, particularly now, we need to find a way to uplift each other. Because if we don't, we're doomed. And I think we have to be focused on trying to make another human being feel good in terms of our lives. How do our lives integrate with other people's lives? Ali did that better than any athlete I ever knew. And that's my favorite all-time story.
Wow,
that's a beautiful
That's
story.
a great one.
Wow.
Awesome.
And we got some great ones. Guys, make sure you support everything Roy is up to. Roy Firestone. I can't thank you enough for taking the time and joining us today.
Alex, let me just do one more plug if I could. If people want to get in touch with me for my live show, maybe they have some corporate event, or maybe it's a community thing, I'd be happy to talk to them. Or if they want to purchase my books, I have 4 books, including a children's book that I wrote called Kobe and a Boy Named Roy that benefits Labrador Retriever Rescue. It's a children's book. And so I've done a lot of things in my life. I'm very proud of it. I appreciate you guys having me on. But if people do want to get a hold of me, just go to royfirestone.com, press contact, and we'll talk.
But if you have a show down here, you let me know, please.
I will do it.
And let me know. I want to go.
Yeah, we're going to go.
Well, definitely.
Okay. All right, buddy. You be well. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Bruce. And go Canes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Canes.
Go
We will talk to everybody next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.